I wanted to say a quick thank you before we jump into the episode. Thank you for sharing the seasonal journal with your people. Obviously, in creating and putting the seasonal journal out into the world this past year, I was thinking of many of you. You that listen to the podcast and occasionally reach out and share with me through an email or a DM on Instagram. Some of you have heard me share from my heart about seasons in and out of many seasons of my life, and I'm so grateful for that. And it has made my heart so happy as this spring I have released the first journal, and I just could sense your excitement right alongside of me as you excitedly bought your journal and shared feedback with me. And many of you have continued to walk through the seasons with each season's journal this year, and that's made me so happy. But one of the things that has moved me so much is that not only have you purchased a journal for yourself, but you have purchased a journal for your family members and for your coworkers and for missionaries in other countries. And your acts of generosity, they have truly impacted me. For one, I'm grateful that you are finding value in the journal, but even more than that you are sharing that value and impact with those in your world. And for that, I am truly grateful. Truly grateful. We are only a few weeks into the season of autumn. So if you're hearing this and you haven't ordered your journal yet, you can still do that. You can actually go to Amazon and just search Susan Beth Autumn Journal, and it should pop right up. And we'll also have links to the journal in the show notes. So big thanks to all of you guys. Change is in the air, friend. Can you feel it? That's what we're talking about in today's episode. Change that leads to transformation. And I hope it encourages you. Hi, friend. I'm Susan Beth, and you are listening to the She Is podcast, where we talk about living life intentionally and about trusting that the desires you have deep within you are there for a reason. I believe that the creator of the universe put those desires within you and that they are pathways to your purpose. My desire is that this would be a space that encourages you to lean in and to hear the whispers of the divine, and that you would be reminded of things that I honestly believe you already know. That you, my friend, are here for a reason. So if you're here for more conversations in that kind of space, welcome. Let's go. Hi, you. Thanks for being here. I asked a question in my Instagram stories this week after sharing a quote from the Autumn Journal, which said, "Like autumn leaves changing around me, may I stop resisting change, allowing a miraculous transformation, bringing forth brilliant beauty." And the question I asked was, do you tend to surrender or resist change in your life? And overwhelmingly, the answer was that most of us tend to resist change. Why is that? What are we so afraid of that's on the other side of change? I really think it's the uncertainty of us not knowing what to expect, because there is usually beauty on the other side, even in the midst of any hard. And if we're honest, there's hard on the front side of change. But somehow we are comfortable with the hard that we are familiar with. And that's what's so interesting. I'm not even talking about the change that we might not want in our life. I'm talking about any kind of change. What is it that for so many of us in our humanity rises up in us and resist change? Resistance is a real thing, and we see it play out in so many ways in our lives. One of the things that I had written down before the start of the season was that I really wanted to be intentional about allowing some particular things to fully fall away in my life. Some things that had already pretty much died off, but the remnants were still hanging around. And they were still hanging around because I was still holding on to them in some way. And here we are, only a few short weeks into the season of autumn. And I found myself needing to remind myself and going back to those intentions and choosing to stay committed to allowing this work in my life. I don't know about you, but sometimes it's so easy for us to be convicted by the Spirit and yet just keep moving ahead in the busyness of life and let those words or experiences we might have had fall to the side. And that is another powerful reason that I'm committed to writing things down. For one, when we write something down, it becomes even more etched in our mind. But it's also something that we can look back on and be reminded. It's been so helpful to me to even go back and to read how I expressed something when I wrote about it in the moment. I could read and feel the intensity and the conviction that I felt when I actually experienced it. So what are you maybe holding so tightly onto that is keeping your hands full, keeping your hands busy, your hands unavailable to hold something new, to make something new, to create and experience something new, something that is on the other side of change? And something else that's on the other side of change? Transformation. Transformation is on the other side of change. When we surrender our grip of control, we surrender to a miracle that we can't make happen in and of ourselves. A miraculous transformation that takes place when we will release what we have been holding so tightly in our hand into the hands of God, our Creator. Philippians 2:13 says, "For God is working in you, giving you the desire and the power to do what pleases Him." What is it that you desire that is requiring you to rely on God's power in you to bring transformation in your life? And what are you waiting for before you will open up your heart and your hands and allow the things in your life that need to fall away to fully fall away? There is beautiful transformation on the other side of change. Don't allow fear or distractions to keep you from all that He has for you, friend. He loves you and is for you always. I love you guys, and we'll talk soon.
Hey, you. Thanks for listening. And if you would like to connect more, head over to SusanBeth.com and sign up, and you will be one of the first to find out about anything new. Plus, there's a special free download available just to say thanks. If something in this episode did speak to you, would you do me a favor and share it with a friend that you think it might resonate with as well? And until next time, keep showing up in the world just as God purposed you to do, because you being you is exactly what we all need.
A production of Amplify Life Media.